In this video, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The first reason is that rich people have multiple sources of income, what we call MSI, and the poor have one stream of income. Now, the problem with having one stream of income is that if you were to lose that income, and you hear a lot of people that go to school, get a job, and finally work in a job for a long time, and one day someone points their finger at you and say you're fired. And the reason why wealthy people and people who are rich make more is because they have different streams of income. They're able to, have stocks, have bonds, have investments, have real estate, have online internet businesses, have special intellectual property. And the problem with having one income stream is that you're trading time for money, whereas if you have multiple streams of income, you don't need to, if you want to make more, you don't have to put in more time. Whereas if you have one income stream and you're trading that time for money, is because you're having to put that time in. Whereas the people who are wealthy, they can sit at home and let their investments ride, or if they invested in real estate, that property price or eventually will start to increase in value as well. And if you're watching this and you've ever invested in or bought a property before and you bought it some 5-10 years ago, it's probably worth more money now than what you paid for it. But imagine the people who are very wealthy, they have all these different income streams, which are multiple streams of income, not just one, but also trade without having to put time in there. And so that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's reason number 1. Number 2, the reason why the rich get richer is because they have long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. So what do I mean by this? If you start a business with short-term mindset, so for example, one of the best ways to grow a business is to grow an audience, add massive value and not monetize straight away. Whereas a lot of people, when they start a business, they try and sell things straight away. And I understand why people do that, because they want to start earning money quicker. It's interesting because Jeff Bezos, when he was sat at dinner with Warren Buffett, he said to Warren Buffett, "Hey, Warren, your investment strategy is so simple. Why isn't everybody copying you?" And Warren's response to that, and those of you that don't know Warren Buffett, he's a multi-billionaire, the 3rd richest man in the world, and his reply was, "Well, Jeff, you see, the reason why people don't copy my strategy is because people don't want to get rich slow, right? Because everybody wants to get rich fast, right? So that long-term thinking goes into everything. If you're starting a company, for even myself, when I built a company over the last 10 years, halfway through that process, we started to switch to long-term thinking, which has now valued my company at multi-million pounds, because we had that end game. You got to have that end game in mind. You don't want to just keep doing everything and be busy instead of being productive. You want to start creating value, right? So for example, long-term thinking might be, instead of you sitting down and making money straight away, it might be building a system in your company that will allow your company to scale. So for 6 months, that means your company is not making money, but at the same time, in the long term, it's going to create value, which is going to allow it to scale a lot faster. So you got to think about long-term thinking instead of short-term thinking, and that's where the key is for people who are very wealthy versus people who are not wealthy. The third reason why the rich get richer is because I talked about this in the last video about stock trading time for money. They have systems that automate processes versus trading time for money. Let me go a little bit deeper into this. Think about right now, you're working a full-time job if you're watching this, and the average time that people work are actually 40 hours in a week, right? So that's quite a lot. And so if you're working 40 hours a week and you're getting paid, say, £10 an hour, you're only getting paid £400 a week. That's £1,600 or dollars, wherever you're watching this from, a month. So again, if you don't have a system that can actually create more income for you, then you'll never grow that money. So the way people who are rich do this is, for example, one of the best ways is an internet business. If you have an online shop, and the shop's open 24 hours a day, even on Christmas Day, people from all around the world can access this. As I said in the previous session, it's got global reach. So what we want to think about is the systemization of how we start to put our business out there and how we can automate that. Now, software has made it way easier for you and me to grow businesses now, because now we don't have to be the engineers of creating that software for our company. There is actually people who pre-built all these different softwares that can automate your businesses, automate your social media, automate the communication, even automate the text messaging, even artificial intelligence texting, speaking to customers based on their needs and wants. The rich are investing time, knowledge and investment into their business to systemize it, and if you can systemize something, you can scale it. And one of the best ways to do that is to be online. That's why technology right now is double, like computing power doubles every 18 months. This is what we want to start thinking about. Think about how can we create a system where we don't have to trade that time for money, and what softwares could I use to automate what I want to do in order to sell more. And the fourth reason why the rich get richer is because they pay themselves first. They invest in themselves instead of spending money on things that go down in value. So when you're paying yourself first, you're paying yourself because if you think about it, like when we all earn money right now, the government will tax us because they know that if they tax us at the end of the month, we'll spend it all. So they tax us up front, so they get their money, they get their cut. But we also have to tax ourselves personally. So all the money that we earn, we want to pay ourselves first so it doesn't get spent on everything else. What a lot of people do is they spend all the money on what's left, which is very little or almost non-existent, they save. Whereas if you pay yourself first, you save that money first, and that's why you have capital now to invest in stocks and shares, to start a company, to invest in your marketing, to invest in yourself, to hire staff, to grow your business, and all these different things right now. If you were to pay yourself first, you're now able to have that capital to grow, and that is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So the 4 reasons why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If you've got any other ideas you'd like to share with me, then make sure you like, subscribe and comment below so you don't miss out on any of the new content that come out. And also leave a comment below on some of the ideas that you have on why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.